Hey guys, it's Mike with TechPB. One of the common questions we get with X-Ball is what are all the bunkers called? So what I'm going to try to do is kind of give you a general walk around the field really quick and tell you what all the bunkers are called. I know a lot of you guys are kind of confused about what does S1 mean, D1, and all that stuff, okay? Typically, you look at this traditional X-Ball field right here, okay? Now it's got that weird looking snake over there, but we're going to kind of ignore that for right now. But most of the time what they're going to do is back center, which is right over here. Most people are going to call this back center. Most people will call this bunker an Aztec, but because of its location on the field, it's back center, they'll call this back center. Some people also call this home, okay? Another thing we can call, a lot of times they call these little bunkers here, where are you? They usually will call these bunkers here, they'll call these mini bricks or pillows, it just depends. A lot of times too, this little bunker over here, typically people are going to call this bunker right here the X box because it's in front of the X and usually it's a little box. Usually they don't put anything here other than this little bunker here, okay? Now, let's come over here to the Doritos side. Here's what some else will call this too. A lot of times people call this stand-ups. You know, they'll call it a stand-up. Some people will call it a Coke can stand-up. It's up to you. Some people will call these pillars or trees or lane blockers. That's what they'll call these bunkers. Now come on over here to the Doritos side. This is where a lot of people kind of get confused, and if you could pan over here. Okay, you see these Doritos here. Okay, you see these Doritos here. Typically when people say D1, they're talking about the first Dorito that's on that side of the field, okay? So if you come over here and look, okay, there is the starting box over there, the ready line. If somebody slides into this bunker right here, they're generally going to call this D1, okay? So this bunker right here. Okay, they're going to call this D1, and then when the person slides into that bunker, they're going to call that D2, okay? So this bunker that's right here at the 40-yard line. Now you're going to hear also some players will call out, you know, he's at the left 30 or the right 30. What we try to imagine, so we can kind of get an idea, is we try to imagine an X-ball field like a football field, okay? I know it's not as big as a football field, of course. I mean, it's only about 120 feet from one end to the other, but we try to imagine the X-ball field like a football field. So around this line, about halfway in between the X and the start box, we're going to call that like the 30-yard line. So sometimes people will say, that's the 30-yard Dorito, that's the 40-yard Dorito, okay? So instead of saying S1 or S2. Now, some of the things too that people do now, it's the same thing on the snake side. They'll call the snake, the first bunker on their side of the field, S1, and then they'll call the second bunker on the field S2, S3, and then as the player crawls closer to you, the numbers get higher and higher per the bunker that they're at. So if there's 5 bunkers in a row, like a zipper configuration, it'll be S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, as they crawl closer and closer to you. So generally, they're going to name the bunker that's close, the furthest away, as the number 1. So that case would be Dorito 1, D2. This one over here would be D3. Okay. Now, let's see what are some of the other things that people do. Okay. Bunker names and stuff like that, okay? Sometimes you're going to get a weird bunker out there, like a really tall Coke can or a really tall stand-up, and people don't exactly know what you can call it. You can call it, like one of my other nicknames is a rocket. So I'll call this a rocket. Just because it's something different. So I'll call this one, you know, the left side rocket. This one over here, we'll call it, he's at the X rocket, the one that's over there in front of the X. So that's what it is. Now people ask, you know, should my team have any special codes or anything in terms of communication? Honestly, if you can't, most players can't even hear the player that's next to them. They're not going to be able to hear, the other team's not going to be able to hear you anyway. So don't even worry about codes. It gets too complicated. If the person's in D1, he's in D1. If the person's in the stand-up, he's in the stand-up. If he's in the back center, he's in the back center. If he's in the X box, he's in the X box. So that's how you kind of want to, when you go out there and you label the field, what does S1 mean and stuff like that. Now there are some people that will have codes like K1, meaning kill, they kill the first person, K2, if there's 5 players on the team, K1, K2, K3, K4, K5, they'll consider those kills. My personal team, because there's so many Aztecs, like the right side Aztec over there may be A1 as Aztec, the second one will be A2 because those are Aztecs. Furthest Aztec away is A1, closest Aztec is A2. So instead of saying K1, D1, G1, A1, S1, we use the days of the week for our kill count. So on Airball we use Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as our kills. So the first one out, we yell out Monday, second person out Tuesday, and then that works out great because when you go to MPPL, which is 7-man, now you can use Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday as your kill count. And when one person yells it out, the whole team yells it out. So specifically for the kill count, we use just the days of the week. But you'll hear Aztec, A1, A2, those are generally Aztecs, A meaning Aztecs, Dorito, D1, D2, starting from further away and getting closer, the number gets higher and higher. So hopefully this kind of answers some questions about the Airball field and what you may hear. And I'm telling you, when you're out there with your team, the more simple you make it, the easier it's going to be. The other team can't hear you, don't even worry about it. So if that person's in D1, tell your whole team is in D1. So thanks for tuning in. Hope this